Hey, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the Chicago vlog. I'm actually filming this intro after the trip has happened because I realized I never filmed an intro for this vlog. I actually visited Chicago for the very first time with my sister, my mom, and her friend Diana. And the reason why this Chicago trip ended up happening is because we were originally going to be going to Italy for my Trova trip, but that unfortunately ended up getting canceled. If you missed hearing me talk about why all of that happened, I will link my October TBR video down below where I kind of explained more about why that happened. But we did have the flight credits, you know, because we had already bought our flights to Italy, and when we were trying to get them refunded, they only were able to refund us with a flight credit, so we just decided to go to Chicago instead. That has been a city that has been on all of our travel bucket lists forever, and none of us have ever gone before, and so we thought it would be a really great opportunity to, you know, have a little girls trip and spend some time together and explore the city of Chicago together. So in this vlog, you will see the 5 days that I ended up spending in Chicago. I did do quite a bit of book shopping while I was there, and then I also met another booktuber friend while I was in Chicago. We just got to do so many exciting things while we were there, and it was such a great trip. So let me cut to us leaving from Seattle early on the morning of October 15th. We woke up at around like 5:30 a.m. and met up at the house at 6:15, and then from there we drove down to the Seattle airport, and then we flew out of Seattle that morning around 11:30 a.m. and by the time we landed it was around 5:45 because we had gained 2 hours when getting into Chicago. But it was actually so perfect to land around that time because the sunset in Chicago when we were landing was one of the first things that we saw there, and it was so freaking beautiful. And then we just caught an Uber to the hotel. And we finally got to the hotel around 7 o'clock that night. Okay, hi, we just made it to Chicago. It's been a really long day of traveling. I mean, the flight was only about 4 hours and we actually landed like 30 minutes earlier than we were expected to. I don't know if it was because the winds were like really high today, but we landed even earlier than we were supposed to, which was very cool. We just got an Uber ride out here to the hotel, and the Uber ride was about like 45 minutes. It's just been a really long day, you know, because we've been literally awake since like 5:30 in the morning, but we just got to the hotel and okay, literally me and Rachel were just gonna share like a regular, you know, king size bed, regular standard hotel room. And then after we checked in, she was like, oh, we actually upgraded you to a suite and it was complimentary. And I was like, wait, what? Dude, oh my god, this is like the most beautiful hotel room I've ever seen in my fucking life. So let me give you a tour. All right, so when you walk in, there's like a little hallway right here, and then boom, you see this giant like cool divider glass thing, and then you walk in and bitch, we have a whole kitchen. Can you believe? And we have like, what? What the heck? This whole sitting area, nice table. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Bro, it looks like a mini apartment.
I know, like this looks like a freaking studio condo. Like what? There's like tons of counter space over here. Yeah, look at this view. We have a view of the Riverwalk. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Can you believe how stunning it is? I feel like we're at a really good spot too, like on the Riverwalk, because we're right at the part where it like bends right here. So like this is the most stunning view I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, oh my god, I'm a city bitch, okay? Like I love a city view. It's my favorite thing in the world. And then anyways, keep coming down this hall. There's this really cool portrait that bam, like there's a light behind it, so it kind of like lights it up super cool, and it's so stunning. And then you keep coming down and there's this huge ginormous bathroom. Like, oh my gosh, look at this shower. Like it's ginormous, so huge. Really great lighting. I love bathroom mirrors that have like the square lighting around it. Oh my god, it's fantastic. And then there's a door that connects into the bedroom here, and then it connects into the bedroom here. Isn't this crazy? And like look at the size of this vanity. It's huge, and the door's closed too. Like it's just so cool. There's like closet space, like we can actually hang up our stuff. I love the brick wall, like in the bedroom. Are you kidding me? I think this is the most stunning hotel I've ever seen in my whole life, and even this has the view. Like the bedroom has the same view. Oh my god. I could honestly cry right now. Like this is crazy. Like not only have I never stayed in any suite before in any hotel ever, but like to get complimentary upgraded to this, like this is the nicest hotel I've ever been in my whole life, and I'm already obsessed. I'm already in love with Chicago, by the way. We've only been here for like less than an hour, but I'm already feeling like all of the things. Like I love it here. I love it. I also just thought I would add in here because I don't know why throughout this whole trip I forgot to update on a lot of my reading that I was doing on this trip, because on the flight into Chicago I actually did end up listening to The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I listened to this one entirely on audio, and I finished listening to this book while I was on the flight into Chicago. And this book is a romance book that is very fall themed, which is something that I really loved about it. Like the fall vibes in this book were really great. It's kind of like a small town romance. This girl owns this coffee shop. She actually inherits this coffee shop called The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and it takes place in this little town called Dream Harbor, which I just thought was so cute. And this romance book was actually very cute. Like I was kind of surprised because I was expecting maybe to like not like this one as much because it does have some pretty low average ratings. I ended up giving this one 3 stars overall. Like I thought it was really cute actually. I really liked the chemistry between the love interests. I think the only reason why I didn't rate this one higher is because I do think that the book does get a little bit repetitive over time with like the smutty scenes, but then also because there was a lot of like miscommunication with this couple that started to irk me. But I really do think that this one has really great small town vibes, and it was just the perfect like cozy read in the fall. It was exactly what I needed. You know, like I really just needed something more light and distracting while I was on the airplane, and this was exactly that. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Hello, good morning. It is our first official morning in Chicago, and I can tell you that waking up to this view, like, are you freaking kidding me? This view is just absolutely stunning, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get over it. But last night ended up being a really fun night, you know, like as you saw, me and Rachel were like absolutely screaming at the top of our lungs when we walked into this room. I still can't believe that we're gonna have this room for the next 5 days. What an amazing like thing to just get a complimentary upgrade. Like we were joking to ourselves that like, this is because of Tank, you know? Like anything good that happens to us where I'm like, wow, is somebody watching over us? It's because of Tank. And this trip honestly couldn't come at a better time, you know, because October has been such a shitty month, you know, like just such a hellish time in our lives. And so the fact that this is going to be such a great memory for this month is so special. But yeah, last night ended up being a pretty great night. We were so exhausted from traveling like all day, you know, because we had been up since like 5:30 in the morning. So we ended up just getting food at the hotel. Like they have a really nice restaurant in this hotel that we're staying at. We're staying at the Royal Sonesta, by the way, that's right in like downtown riverfront Chicago. Oh my God, it's so nice here. And then we ended up having quite an early night, and I passed out before midnight, which was very early for me, you know, because that would mean that I passed out at like 10 p.m. Pacific time, which was pretty early for me, but luckily I got a really good sleep last night. I think me and Rachel both slept really well. The bed here is very comfortable. So now I'm feeling totally rejuvenated and ready for a full day in Chicago. And today we have some plans that I'm very excited about. So first thing this morning, me and Rachel are going to be meeting my mom and her friend Diana downstairs, and we're going to go to this cute little breakfast spot called the Wildberry Pancake Cafe. It's a place that's about 10 minutes walking from our hotel, and it just looks like it's going to be so adorable and so cute. And then after that, oh my God, me and Rachel are gonna go and take an Uber to meet Jan, you know, Jan Agaton, the booktuber, because, you know, Jan lives in Chicago and she reached out and was like, hey, you're gonna be in Chicago, let's meet up. And I was like, yes. And we're gonna be going to this place called the October Cafe, which is like one of my most, you know, anticipated coffee shops. Like it's one of the cutest looking places, and it's all themed around, you know, like the month of October. But of course, you know, visiting it in the month of October is gonna be so cool. And we're gonna meet Jan, like how exciting. It's really cool too that we're gonna meet Jan because, you know, like Rachel's actually pretty close to Jan as well. So like, it's just gonna be such a special moment. You know, anytime I do get to meet any of my booktube friends in real life, it's always such a like special and like mind-blowing thing to happen. And then later tonight, we have reservations at this like really fancy, nice steakhouse that's like down the street from here. Tonight is gonna be our one night of eating kind of like a fancy steak dinner kind of place, and I'm really looking forward to it because I think it's gonna be so good and so amazing. And so yeah, here we go, my official first day in Chicago. I can't believe we're here. It's so beautiful, and it's really freaking cold, honestly. Like it's a lot colder today than we were expecting it to be. I think right now outside it's about like 47 degrees, but on the weather app it said feels like 32 because of the wind. I mean, I am used to the cold, you know, because I do currently live in Washington, but I wasn't expecting it to be this cold while we were here, because when we were like getting ready and packing for this trip, when we were looking at the weather, it was showing like high 60s, even 70 degrees. So I was like, oh, it's not gonna be that bad. But now it looks like they got like a frost chill warning last night, and overnight, like the weather really seems to have dropped. So I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be so cold. So hopefully I came prepared. You know, I just got the crew neck on. I don't know, we'll see. I didn't pack for like super extreme cold weather, so we'll just have to deal with it, I guess. But let's get the day started. Dude, look at what I just realized is in our hotel room. Like, isn't this so cute? Oh my God, it's like right next to our TV in the main area. Like, that's adorable. berries are huge. Big.
It's huge. It's beautiful. It's so hard to believe it's nested in all of this.
Oh my god. Wow. We are on reflections in the bean.
Oh, it's like so perfectly reflective.
Wow. I'm tripping out. Whoa.
Makes me dizzy.
Whoa. Whoa. This is so trippy. I see your. Oh my god. That's kind of scary, honestly. Your reflection's like. Whoa. That's crazy. This is so cool. Yeah. It's just a big old bean. Wow, we touched the bean. The bean has been touched. Wow. Insane.
Trippy inside. It's pretty neat to see around the
The city reflects in the bean.
on the opposite side of these buildings. It's farther back.
That could be it. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm gonna call.
Oh my gosh! Wow! Wow! I know this fair. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's
Cute!
Oh my god.
Wow! This place is so cute. Oh my god! The little orange benches. Yeah, where you got to? Oh my god! Are we in the same camera? G7X.
Yeah, though I
We
got
have
the
the
Mark
same
III.
Oh, yours is Mark 3, so yours is better than mine. I think.
Yeah, because my other one broke.
Oh, they're real. The gift were so crazy. I'm gonna throw it. Look at them up.
What did we get?
No, I don't even know. What are you gonna get? Are you like? Thank you so much.
That's adorable.
Wow.
OMG.
This is like above expectations, honestly.
Okay,
like
here's
this
your Maple
one's
Forest.
Maple Forest, which I don't really know what that means.
I'm just gonna sit here and observe you guys.
We got a PSL, pumpkin spice latte.
weather.
We have a cuddle
Oh,
weather.
yeah.
This one's like hot cocoa, right?
Chai goes together.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And then the chai. Nobody else wants to drink chai, so I get two. How exciting! Have you tried these before, or is this your first time?
I have, and I've been here for the Valentine's Day one too.
Ooh, which one's your favorite? Do you know?
I think Cuddle Weather was my favorite. Because this one's like the chocolatey one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so cute. Okay, hi. We
I
made
almost
it.
killed them.
we got here in one piece, but Jan parallel parked like a freaking badass. Okay, like I cannot parallel park for
It's
shit.
my one flex.
Yeah, no, she's got a flex on that. So we made it, and we're going to
Speed
Bucket of
bumps,
Blood. Yeah.
Speed bumps are not.
Well, okay, they were not
bumps are the
painted.
weirdest.
Like the speed bumps were not painted, and we didn't see them. Okay, to be fair.
I almost concussed Rachel.
Almost, but we're alive. We made it,
Yeah, I was
and
bouncing, but-
we're gonna check out this cool like horror bookstore that Jan recommends called Bucket of Blood. Apparently, it's like really known here. You know, it's like the spot. So.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know a lot
Yeah,
of people
dude,
knew about
so many people have been recommending me all week. They're like, oh my god, you're going to Chicago, you have to go to Bucket of Blood. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, that's what Jan said. So
go
Jan
there.
knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, tour guide. So. All right,
Oh
let's-
god, I'm the worst person for Chicago.
No, this is great. We're getting the full tour. You know, we went around the neighborhoods. It was great.
Yeah, because I missed the first.
Wow. Here's the selection here. No. And me and Jan Buddy read this for the book troop. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they have audition. ghost eaters. This is crazy. It is crazy. This too. Oh my god. You've got them all. Is that new?
I think this is his memoir.
He's a memoir. What?
I'm buying it.
Wow, that's cool. Oh my god.
I'm buying it.
They have a big German Eastern section. It's so cool. Hello, we are back from an afternoon spent out in Chicago. Oh my gosh, today was so much fun. Got to meet Jan, and Jan was like so incredibly sweet because not only did she pay for me and Rachel's coffee, which was very nice of her, but then she also gave us these gifts that literally nearly brought us to tears because they're Tank related gifts. So she got Rachel this beautiful little thing for Tank, and it really like looks like him on here, and it says, "Once by my side, forever in my heart." Like, is this not so freaking beautiful and so thoughtful and so kind? And there's like a little chain so you can like hang this up, which we definitely will be doing because how nice is that? Like, that is so freaking thoughtful and so sweet of her. And then she also ended up getting me this bookmark that also is like Tank related. Look at how cute. It says, "You paused here." Like, and it's paused, you know, like pause. And it's the cutest little Frenchie. Like, does this not look exactly like Tank? Like, oh my god, my heart. So that was really awesome, and it was so good to meet Jan and to go to this place like the October Cafe. It was so cute. It's really cool there because there you can order a flight of coffee essentially, so you get to try 4 different things. So one of them was a chai latte, which I was very happy about, and because Jan and Rachel don't like chai, so I got to have 2 of the chais, which was very nice. And the coffee there was so delicious. Oh my god, it was so good. And then afterwards, we ended up going to this bookstore that's called Bucket of Blood, and it's kind of like a well-known horror bookstore that's in Chicago, and Jan was so kind enough to drive us there, and we got to do some like book shopping together, which was very fun and so cool. I swear, anytime I get the chance to like actually like book shop with another booktuber, you know, like that's when it feels real, that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy that we're hanging out together. And if you were wondering, at the bookstore, I did end up getting 1 book while I was there. Sorry, the lighting is really weird right now. The sun is just beaming off of the building right next to us, like right into my eyeballs. But anyways, the 1 book that I ended up picking up at that store was Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson. Sorry, I tried to move you so that the lighting is like less terrible, but I don't know if I succeeded or not. But I did want to get Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson, and I wanted to get this because I was a really big fan of the book Bloom by this author. And this one is a novella, by the way. Like, it's a little bit shorter. I think it's only about 200 pages. And I do have plans to read this one by the end of this month because I really wanted to read this one for like my short and spooky readathon that I'm going to be doing on Patreon at the end of this month. So I thought, what better short and spooky book to get than this one? So I'm really excited that I got this one. It also did come with this really cool, you know, like Bucket of Blood bookstore bookmark, which I always love. Whenever I travel, I love to get like a bookmark from the local bookstore. Like, how cute is that? This one also has the really cool like end papers. Like, look at that. Boom. So yeah, anyways, it was a very exciting, very busy day. We did end up seeing The Bean too in person earlier today, which like we weren't expecting to do that today. But after we finished up early at the breakfast, you know, restaurant that we were at, we realized that we had another like 30 to 45 minutes before we had to get the Uber to go and meet Jan. So we were literally right across the street from Millennium Park. Like, I didn't realize we were going to be that close. So we were like, let's just go and look at The Bean. And we did. And it was absolutely incredible, like breathtaking. It was so nice. It was just so beautiful. And so I've been having a great time in Chicago so far. Now we are back at the hotel and we're getting ready to go out to dinner and to have like a really nice dinner tonight. And I can't wait. I think it's going to be fantastic. Nutella Cafe. The Nutella Cafe.
Spin it around.
I think it's the only one. I think it's the only one ever. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Wow. How was the crepe?
It was really good.
Really
Have it
good?
all over my face?
No.
Okay. I usually get
What'd you give it out of 10?
like a 9 out of 10. The experience is a 10. I feel like if it had more straws.
Not enough straws.
No.
Yeah. We were a little bit basic and we just got the crepes with
It's not basic.
just strawberries and Nutella because that's the best way to get it.
That's far. That's all you need.
But I agree. I think it'd be a 9 out of 10. If it had a little bit more strawberries in there, it could have been a 10. But it was so good. It was so cute. Did you love? Did you love it? It's loved it. Is it 9 out of 10? What would you give it?
For sure, 9 out of 10. They have bananas. I'll give it a 10.
Yeah, they had bananas
She's
too.
giving it a 10.
Oh wow, look at that.
I thought you wanted more Nutella. I'm not gonna Nutella.
Dang.
Oh, that was a good one.
Dang. It is now day 3, well technically day 2 in Chicago, and last night ended up being a really great night. You know, we went to that steak dinner. It was so delicious. Like, I rarely ever get the opportunity to like have a really nice steak dinner, so it felt very special to have that here. And then afterwards we ended up going to the Nutella Cafe, which was so cool. And I think it's actually like the only Nutella Cafe in the world, or maybe the only one in America. It was so cool to go there because they had like tons of different things that you could order with Nutella in it, and we just ended up getting, you know, crepes with strawberries and Nutella because like that's one of my favorite combinations ever, and it was so good. But that place was so cool. They had like a life-size jar of Nutella that you could stand next to that's like 5 feet tall. And they also had all these little like labels where you could custom order a little thing of Nutella with your name on it, like instead of the brand name Nutella you could get like your name on it. I don't know, it looks so cute. But it was a really great night. And then like the first night, we just kind of had an early night and crashed early because for some reason being here has been like really exhausting. Like, I don't know, it's been making us sleep a little bit early. I mean, the main thing that we're trying to do today is, you know, checking out the Riverwalk area and kind of walking the Riverwalk area. And then I also do have a scheduled like boat tour, like the architecture tour thing that they do here in Chicago. We have that at 1 p.m. this afternoon, and I'm really looking forward to that because I've heard from so many people here that like the architecture tour is like the best thing because it's when you go on the boat that like rides the whole Riverwalk, and then they like tell you a lot about like the architecture of the buildings and like this area, and I just really can't wait. And I'm hopeful that it won't be like too windy or cold today to be out on the water, but I am gonna bring my big jacket to go over this just in case it is. But yeah, it's been a really great trip here so far. Like, I'm already so in love with Chicago. Those time-lapse videos that I took last night, like, oh my gosh, those are some of the most beautiful things I think I've ever filmed in my whole life. Like, I was obsessing over them. I think this morning I'm gonna go to this little restaurant that's called Yoke. Is it delicious?
Yeah, it's really
Have an ASMR. We're on the boat. It's very bright.
We own a boat and
It's kind of hot, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little warm out today. It's like almost 70 degrees out here. So we thought it was gonna be too cold on this boat.
Literally 59.
It's 59? Dude, why is it so hot? Oh my god, like I'm dying. I feel like I'm a full Washingtonian now because it's like not that cold here. Like I am toasty.
It feels like the wind is making it feel colder.
It's not. I can tell you it's not.
Maybe if you're like in the shadows.
And we're literally on a boat and it's so sunny and hot. But I'm so excited. This is like the boat tour. Stuff and so pumped up. Now we're in the middle of the city. It's so cool. Look at this view. Look at this view. Look at this view. This is gonna be fantastic. And this boat tour is about like 90 minutes. And we're gonna learn so much. So.
Quick safety announcement and we'll get going. Please listen up to the safety recording.
Please give us your undivided attention to the
Hall with 98 stories, second tallest building in town. Now on the right side of the boat, this dark steel rectangular tower on the right is AMA Plaza, headquarters of the American Medical Association. It's from 1973 by Ludwig Mies van der Rohe. Now Mies van der Rohe was a pioneer of this style of architecture. But the whole truth, which I should also tell you, is that it never happened on accident or due to the other was for an auto insurance commercial. By the way, having setbacks towards the top, that's Art Deco. Now Now, on the right side, there's like other places in the United States that have not been settled.
Got done with the boat tour. It was amazing. It was so freaking cool. And now we're going on the Riverwalk. Let's do it.
How cute.
Wow. Adorable. So cute. Just you and your besties.
Or maybe it's the two.
What's the place called? Giordano's.
I'll show you them when we get to the hotel.
We'll do taste test. Okay, hello. We just made it back to the hotel. It has been such an amazing day. We just ate at this like really good pizza restaurant and I'm feeling so full. Like so full, but on the way home, or on the way back to the hotel, I should say, we were gonna go to this place called Stan's Donuts. That's more of like a local spot. But when we went in, they only had like a few left because they were gonna be like closing in an hour. We didn't really plan it well. We're gonna go back a different day, I think. But instead, we decided to go to Mochi Nut, which they had right down the street. And technically, yes, we do have a Mochi Nut where we live, but it's still not somewhere that we get to go to like very often. I've actually never tried it. So we thought this would be a fun time to just try it. We got 4 different flavors that we're gonna sample. This one is a chocolate churro. If you don't know what Mochi Nut is, by the way, it's these amazing donuts that are just kind of like pull apart donuts like that, as you can see. Oh, they're so cute. And then I wanted to try this one. what is it called?
Passion fruit?
Yeah, this one was called passion fruit, and it has like fruity pebbles all over it or something. I don't know. I heard that this one's really good, so I just wanted to give it a shot.
This is Nutella.
Yeah, and then there's one that's like straight up Nutella with like an actual bar on there, which is so cool.
I think it's a Biscoff cookie, it looks like. And then this one's toasted marshmallow. It actually has like toasted marshmallow on it.
Yes, toasted marshmallows, so fancy. So we thought we would just try them and see how it goes. So first one is gonna be this chocolatey churro.
Ooh, it's soft. I would love it.
They're so soft. Oh my god. So good. I think they're like fresh. They don't even look like they'd be that fresh, but they're so soft.
8 out of 10.
Me too. I really like the churro. I'm a hoe for like anything churro.
Ho!
Yeah, it's my favorite. Now,
Ooh, this passion fruit.
you wanna try this one?
No.
Okay, we'll try the passion fruit next. I'm so curious to see how these fruity pebbles are going to taste on a donut. Like, I just have no idea. Whoa, passion fruit itself is like very tangy.
Whoa. Well, that's really good.
Oh, it's really unique. I like the crunch of like the fruity pebbles on top. The flavor of the passion fruit is throwing
really
me a little bit.
What? Really? I think it's really good. It's a lot better than I thought it'd be.
I think it's like a 6 for me.
Oh.
What is it for you?
I would say 8 too.
Another 8?
I think it's like the texture is amazing with the crunch, like.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh, this one's got that toasted marshmallow on there. Whoa. The toasty marshmallow is so toasty.
A 7 just because I hate feeling this right now on my fingers.
It's like very sticky.
A true nightmare.
I like the flavor of that one though.
A sensory nightmare, but it's
Yeah.
really good.
I think I'd give that one an 8. I like the flavor on that one.
Like look at this right now.
It's like it's a bit messy to eat. Best for last maybe. This is the Nutella one. Nutella.
Oh, that's so good. I knew it would be my favorite.
Was that a 10? Nutella just goes with everything.
I'm actually really shocked by like how actual like donut texture they have. I thought it would be like hard for some reason.
Like they're really soft. They don't look like they would be, but they are. So wow, we're gonna have an early night because it's just been so like exhausting, you know, traveling around all day. It's only about 7:30 at night now, but we're just gonna chill, you know. We're just gonna take a shower, we're just gonna lay in bed, chill out for the rest of the night because we're both exhausted from the day. But it's been such an amazing day. Like we did so many incredible things today, and like that riverboat tour,
Amazing.
it was like one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Like it was so cool. Our tour guide, the dude, he knew so much about the city. Like they explained everything to
usually
you.
not a tour person.
Yeah.
Like I actually hate. I'd much rather like just venture
Explore
out in the
around.
city by myself. But
Yeah.
for some reason, this one was so cool because it wasn't like he was like talking down your throat. It was
Yeah.
just like he was just there saying things as you're like going through the city.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like you had to be listening to him.
Yeah.
It was kind of
Like, it was
more,
more
just
casual.
like, yeah. And then it's like, you know how it's so hard to like when you're in a city, you want to see everything. And it's hard to like, okay, yeah, I can walk around, but like there's only so much you can see when you're walking. And
Yeah.
then going through the river boat tour, like the river goes right through the city. It's
Yeah.
so cool. You just get to see such a good view from every angle because the boat turns around and then you get to see it from behind and then
Yeah.
from the front face, and like you can see how far the river goes through and then all the history of the city and the river, and like it's just really neat. Like I highly recommend if you do come to Chicago, like to do that tour. Cause
Yeah, the riverboat.
I usually-
the architecture tour.
yeah, I
Amazing.
usually wouldn't do a tour, but that was like such a great experience. And
Yeah.
like if you get seasick, I think it's fine because you don't super feel like you're on the water.
Yeah,
either, which
and
is
it was like so worth it. It was only $45 a person, which I thought was really cheap for a 90-minute boat tour. Like it was an hour and a half long, and like they just give you so much information about the architecture of like all the buildings and like the history of Chicago and all that. So like
So
it was
cool.
very informative and very cool to learn about, a lot about the history here. And we were just talking about how Chicago is so like nice here. It really does remind me of like a mix of like New York and Seattle. It's like if you took those two cities and combined them, that's kind of what Chicago feels like to, at least that's all we
Yeah.
really can reference, because it's like we're from kind of Seattle area and then we've been to New York twice, so it just kind of gives me like similar feelings in a different way. But I just love it here. Like I don't know why I wasn't expecting to love it here as much as I am. Like I'm just loving this area. It's so beautiful.
It's
Like
so stunning.
yeah, it's so beautiful. Like every angle of like the city, like the skyscrapers, it's just so beautiful. And there's so much green here. Like there's so much trees and like parks everywhere. It's just so pretty.
And I think too, it's like really neat too, is like I said with the river going right through the city, but like there's river walkways. Like they do it so well so the public can enjoy every aspect of Chicago, which is really nice because it's like, I feel like with most cities like Seattle, like there's only like that one part. What on earth was that? What? What was I missing.
Mom just tapped on the door and scared the shit out of us.
Yeah. But like I was saying, I think that it's just really accessible, like the city, like for everyone to enjoy the parts of the city. Like there's walkways everywhere. It's clean, it's pretty, it's like accessible. There's a lot of stairs, there's ramps, there's trains. It's just like so easy like to move around the city, and like I just feel like with Seattle there's so many like hills, and like it's hard to like
it's not
walk
it's
around.
not as walkable of a city as Chicago feels.
Yeah.
And it's like, granted, we've only been here for like 2 days so far, so it's like, what do we know? But based off of our experience here so far, it's been so wonderful and so lovely. And I feel like we picked the perfect time of year to visit too, in October, because it feels just cold enough that it's like crispy air, but it's not like freezing. And I don't know if that's just because we're really used to like the colder weather too, living in Washington, but like it feels perfect here. Like these last 2 days have been so nice. Like, yes, when you're in the shade and you kind of get that breeze,
I mean, I'm
it's a
sure
little
it does
cold.
get really cold.
I know, like, well, that's what I mean.
Because there is a lot of wind, even though it's like not that cold right now. There is a lot of wind, so I just can't imagine when it's actually freezing. And
that's why
wind.
I think we picked the perfect time to come, because I know it's gonna get really cold probably in these upcoming months. But October is such a great time to visit here. Like it's beautiful, and a lot of the trees are already changing. It's just magical.
I was just surprised though, like how peaceful it is. Like I thought for sure like there would be so many more tourists and stuff, and like when you're sitting there and observing like the views or whatever, like it actually doesn't feel crowded. It just feels like you're around some locals, and it's like chill.
Yeah, Chicago has my heart. We've been playing We Love You So Much.
Back in Chicago. Yeah, it's hard not to.
Yeah, you just have to sing it in the streets, you know? People are probably like, oh, tourists. But it's great. We're having a great time. Tomorrow we have a lot of exciting things, kind of like loosely planned. We're gonna be checking out like the Millennium Park area again, going back to the Bean, and kind of like checking out that area that's a little bit down south from where we are, because we've mostly been exploring like just north of here in the Riverwalk so far. So I am excited to go and explore that area a little bit more tomorrow, and yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a great time. But this has been such an amazing trip already. Like what an incredible 2 days we've had already. Like what? Hello, it's day 3 in Chicago. We're getting ready to go out, hit the town. I am wearing my Reputation shirt today because today is, I don't know, Taylor has her first show in Florida tonight, so there's been some rumors, you know, there's been some speculation that tonight could be the night that Reputation gets announced. So like if that happens, I mean, I have to manifest it, right? Like I have to be wearing this today. It feels right. I'm also wearing jeans now for like the first time this whole trip. Feels right. And I don't think it's actually gonna be that cold out today. We'll see, but we're gonna go find some food. I think me and Rachel are gonna be on our own today. I think my mom and her friend Diana are gonna be like doing their own thing this morning. So we're just gonna go walk around, find some food, maybe find some iced coffee, and explore like Millennium Park and like that whole area down there by the Bean. Let's do it. Great. Is it? I got a pumpkin latte. I think it was called a pumpkin pie latte. Oh my god, that's so good. I just inhaled so many like pumpkin pie seasonings. It's like falling in love. Exile in back at the hotel after a very fun morning. We were just exploring down in the areas, and I wanted to show you some things that I bought. Yeah, so we found this little bookstore called Exile in Bookville, and this is one that I got recommended because it's right on Michigan Avenue, which is like, I think it's like one of the busiest streets right here in like the downtown Chicago area. I really love Michigan Avenue, by the way. It kind of reminds me of like 6th Avenue in New York, like the one where all the publishers are on. Anyways, we found this bookstore and it was so cool because it's literally tucked into this like arts building. It was really cool. We had to go up all these like fancy stairs, and like the interior of that building was so stunning. It felt like one of those like old, beautiful architecture, like just stunning kind of buildings. But anyways, while I was in there, I ended up getting the last one at the wedding, which I'm so excited about. I was debating whether or not I should get this one because, you know, it is kind of like a massive hardcover book, and so I wasn't sure if I should go for it, but I just decided to go for it because I do have plans to read this book next month anyway, and I'm just kind of like, well, I was gonna save it and try to buy it from like book of the month because I think they just had this one as an add-on recently, but I was like, I mean, you know, when in Chicago, might as well, you know, pick up a new release book. So I am so excited for this. I love this cover. I keep saying this every time I talk about this book, but this is like one of my favorite book covers that I've ever seen in my whole freaking life. Like, I'm just obsessed with it. I love the gold. Also, look at how cute. They gave me a bookmark while I was leaving the bookshop. It's so cute, isn't it? It looks like a little movie ticket stub. Oh my god, I love this. We were also walking around and I wanted to get one of the cute like touristy things, you know, because I am a tourist, you know, like this is my first time in Chicago, so I had to get one of the cute little touristy things from the tourist shop. But look at how cute. I ended up getting this crew neck. That just says Chicago on it. Is this not so adorable? Like, this is so me, you know? Like, this is so my vibe. So I am so excited about this. It's very cozy and very soft. I couldn't resist because when I went up to the cash register, I saw that they had a bunch of guitar picks that were like Chicago guitar picks. And like, look at how cute this is. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. So, you know, I had to get it because I play guitar, and I think guitar picks, like collecting guitar picks, is something that is so cool that I like never think to do. So I had to get it. Oh, and I forgot to show you the other night when I went into one of these like Chicago souvenir places, I ended up getting a magnet because on our fridge we have a bunch of magnets of like all the places that we visited. And so I thought, like, of course, you know, like I have to get a Chicago magnet while I'm here. And look at this one that I got. Is this not so freaking cute? It has the little bean right here, and then it has this little Ferris wheel in the background. It's not so cool. It's very like shiny and very reflective, and I love it so much. So I think this is gonna be perfect on our fridge. It's gonna go right next to my little Japan magnets and the little New York magnets. Oh, it's so great. So love that. But anyways, we've just been chilling and, you know, catching our breath at the hotel before we head back out. It's actually kind of sick.
Oh.
It's a mirror.
Oh. It's like the bean.
It's like, oh, this is like a mirror too. Whoa. Peace. Hello, good morning. It is day 4, or at least our full 4th day in Chicago, and today is actually going to be our full last day here because we fly out tomorrow. And last night, oh my gosh, last night was amazing because I had this like mushroom Swiss burger. I've actually never tried mushrooms on my burger before because I've only recently become a fan of mushrooms in like the last couple of years, and it was actually so delicious. Like, it was one of the best burgers that I've ever had. It was so good. And then after that, we went to the Ghirardelli ice cream store that's right across the street from our hotel, and that was so good. But like, oh my god, it was so much chocolate and like sweets overload. I think my body like actually shut down. I was so tired after that, and so we ended up kind of having an early night, I don't know, here at the hotel. I was doing some reading here in the hotel room after I got back. During this trip, I was also reading The Final Scene by Steph Nelson, and in fact, this was one of the only books that I ended up bringing with me on this actual trip. I did end up bringing this one as well, A Sunny Place for Shady People, but I had only gotten a few pages into the first chapter of this one before I decided to set it aside. Not because I wasn't interested, but because I just knew that I couldn't devote my full attention to this in the way that I wanted to. And with this book, The Final Scene, this one is a thriller that I've been hearing some really great things about. And one night while we were in the hotel, I got 60 pages in. I got all the way up to chapter 13. I don't know if this is like a permanent DNF, but I do think that I'm gonna DNF this book for now, which is kind of shocking, but I think the reason why I want to DNF is because so many people say that this book is so thrilling and so gripping, like right from the start, and I just don't really feel that way about this. I think there's something about the writing in this book that is just not really working for me personally. The writing just doesn't feel very good. I don't feel connected to any of these characters, and all the characters so far are just feeling very one-dimensional to me. We're just following this girl Brooke who was kidnapped 10 years ago, and now there's like a uniquely weird situation happening with this group of people that she's been kidnapped with. I don't know, like the writing just feels very simplistic to me in a way that I just don't feel like I'm connecting to the characters or their situation. And so sadly, I do think I'm actually gonna DNF this one. Anyways, today is Saturday, and it's so cool because today in Chicago, they are lifting the bridges. As you can see, what's happening outside of my window right now. The other day on our tour guide, when we took the architecture boat tour, our tour guide told us that this weekend in Chicago on the Saturday is gonna be the time where they lift all these bridges down on this whole strip right here. And they said it so all these like bigger boats can get through. And I guess they said they only do this twice a year, I think is what he said. They only do it in October and then once in the spring, I think. So like, what a special time to be able to visit Chicago to like see the bridges lift. I know, this is so trippy, so cool, because like we were just walking that bridge, you know? So cool. That's so crazy. But yeah, what a cool day to see Chicago, because they don't do this very often, and like, wow. All right, we are in the elevator going down. We're gonna be doing so many fun things today, like Navy Pier and Ohio State Beach.
Yeah, very cool.
Stubby legs can't move, maybe.
We're almost there. It's a hike. Whoa. going in here. Parade happening outside of our window. What a great day to be in Chicago. We saw the bridges rise up this morning, which is like a once in a lifetime thing to see, and now there's a fucking Halloween parade happening right outside of our window. Like, this hotel really is the place to see all the things. Alright, and that was the final clips that I took in Chicago. That last night was so much fun in Chicago. I really loved going down to that cocoa bar. That margarita was so delicious, and the carne asada quesadilla that me and my sister shared, wow, it was so good, and such a great way to end the trip because we could hear, you know, like the Halloween parade that was going on in the town. Like, we could hear it from where we were sitting at the cocoa bar, and it was just amazing and like the best vibes possible to end the trip. I didn't actually end up filming anything the next day because I was just so exhausted from that day. I mean, on our final day in Chicago, we had walked 18,000 steps around the city that day, which is the equivalent of about like 8.5 miles of walking. Like, we did so much walking on that last day that my feet were so sore, like it actually hurt to walk the next day. So I was like, oh my gosh, like that next day was rough. We had a long travel day back, and it was around 12 hours of travel to get back from the Chicago hotel back to this apartment. It took about 12 hours. And so yesterday was a really long travel day. I did want to let you know that while I was on the airplane ride though back from Chicago, I listened to the entirety of Brat by Gabriel Smith. This is a horror novel that I just have very weird feelings about this book. Like, I don't really know what I was expecting with this book, to be honest, but it wasn't exactly this. And in this story, we're just following this character named Gabriel, which also, side note, I think that's kind of odd to me when the author names the protagonist after their name. Like, when the protagonist of the book and the author share a name. I don't know why authors do that. I don't know if it's supposed to be some kind of like self-insert kind of thing, but I think that's so strange personally when authors do that. I don't really know if there's a reason for it. But anyways, we're following this character named Gabriel, and his father has recently died, and he's dealing with a lot of different grief. He's also dealing with his family members who, like, he doesn't really get along with them very well. And it's just this story about how there's a lot of body horror, how he starts to feel like his skin is like peeling off. And there's a lot of very grotesque and descriptive and disgusting like body horror scenes where like layers of his skin are just peeling off. And there's a lot of descriptions about like infected skin, even when it comes to his yeah, there's a lot of talk about his you know what. I feel like this is also one of those stories where like you don't really know if you can trust the perspective of the protagonist, because there's a lot of moments where he's like seeing visions, or he thinks that he's seeing things or hearing things that might not be there because he's dealing with this grief, you know, of his father passing away. There's also like a story within a story element happening in this story, and I personally did not care at all. I mean, I didn't really care about either timeline if I'm being honest, but I especially did not care about the story within the story, and I thought it was getting so repetitive because there would be so many scenes where he would go back to read the story and he'd be like, wait, let me start over from the beginning, and then you start to read the same thing that you've already read like 3 times by now. I personally did not like this book very much. I'm surprised. I gave it 2 stars. Like, I really didn't like it. Not only because I didn't like any of the characters, they were all so unlikable, but also because like there was nothing really interesting to keep me gripped into the story anyways. I thought the writing in this book, for me personally, I thought the writing was not that good. It was very simplistic and so basic to the point where like the sentences would drive me nuts because he would just be like, I did this, then I did that, because I'm doing this, and then I did that. It was so, the sentences were just so simplistic, and the writing just really drove me nuts in this book. I'm just so upset that this one didn't work for me because I usually do love, you know, grief horror, or like horror that really centers on stories about grief and how a character slowly starting to like lose themselves because of the grief. Like, that tends to be some of my favorite horror. So I don't know why this book in particular just really didn't work for me. I think it was mostly like the writing style that I just really didn't like, and then also like none of the characters I liked, and I don't even need to like the characters to enjoy the story, but there was something about the way that this one was written, it just drove me absolutely nuts. And then also the ending of this book, like, I'm sorry, what? Like, what even was that ending? I don't know. I gave this book 2 stars. I was not a fan. But then I also actually did end up watching 6 episodes of that Netflix show, Nobody Wants This, on the flight home, because these episodes are only like 25 minutes long. Like, you can just fly through them. And this is a rom-com that was recently posted on Netflix, and it's a TV series, and it is so freaking cute. Dude, I loved the show. I would have watched the entire thing, but I was like, no, I want to like save some more episodes for when I get home. So I watched 6 episodes of that, and I can already tell you that this is going to be a new favorite TV show. I love it so much. Not only is it a really cute romance, but I also love the fact that our protagonist, she runs this podcast with her sister called Nobody Wants This, and so there's a really great like sister kind of like bantery relationship on the show as well, which I really connect with, obviously. Like, I did have a podcast at one point with my sister, so like we can kind of relate to that there, but it's just so much fun and it's so cute and I love it. So highly recommend checking out this show on Netflix. I think it's so adorable. But anyways, oh my gosh, that is the entire Chicago trip. Honestly, this Chicago trip was the trip of a lifetime. It was so much fun getting to explore a new city with my sister and my mom and her friend Diana, and it really just brought the 4 of us even closer together. And it was such a special experience to get to meet my online friend Jan. She is such a freaking sweetheart, and it just meant so much to get to spend the day with her. I just really had such a great time, and I was really genuinely shocked by how much I loved Chicago. Like, I knew that I was gonna love it, but I didn't think I would fall that deeply in love with it the way that I did. I mentioned this earlier in the vlog, but Chicago really does feel like a combination of some of my favorite things about different cities. Like, Chicago reminds me so much of New York City in a lot of ways, but then it feels like all of the best parts of New York City and the best parts of like Seattle, because since there's a lot of water throughout the city, like with all these rivers and lakes, it kind of does remind me of Seattle. But then like the Millennium Park just being right in the middle of the city definitely reminds me of like Central Park in New York. I love the way that like Michigan Avenue in Chicago kind of feels the way that 6th Avenue does in New York. Like, there are just so many similarities that I could point out, and the feeling that it gave me was very similar, which I'm just shocked because, you know, New York City has been like my favorite place in the world for like my entire life basically. And so to find somewhere in the States that could like come close to that feeling that I get when I'm in New York, like, that is mind-blowing. I didn't think it would happen, but it did, and it was incredible, and I genuinely can't wait to go back. Like, Chicago is definitely on my list now of places that I want to visit again and again and again because I loved it so much. All the locals there too were so freaking kind, and I was just so impressed by how beautiful the city was. Like, honestly, any angle that I could take pictures of in the city, it was so stunning. And I really, really loved the architecture boat tour. Like, I would say if you're going to Chicago and you want to do one thing, it would be to take that architecture boat tour on the Riverwalk. Oh my gosh, it's like, it's just so cool because you learn so much about the city, and it was just so helpful. It just really made me feel so inspired, and I loved it so much. Like, it was the best experience. So thank you so much for watching this Chicago vlog. I mean, gosh, I really hope in the future that I can do more, you know, travel vlogs like this and get to go to all these different places that I've never been to before, because, you know, ever since going to Japan last year, it has really made me like get the travel bug, you know, like I really just want to travel everywhere. I love it so much. So thank you so so much for watching as always. I know that this was quite a long vlog. Maybe you can leave me a comment with a black heart if you made it this far, because I really appreciate you for watching this whole thing. Like, genuinely, thank you. That's so cool of you. It means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!